Welcome to the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show alongside the very decorated Chris Egan. Today, I'm Paul Sylvie. After taking the show on the road at Seahawks minicamp the last couple of days, we are back in our comfortable recliners. A great place for sports fans to be last night while they watched a history-making comeback by the Knicks in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. No team has ever come back from 29 down in the NBA playoffs to win it. The Knicks did that last night to beat the Spurs 107-106 to take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. Go, Chris.
I'm just feeling the fever. That's why I've got my Sonics gear on today. Feeling a little NBA love. I want to send out a shout out to our news director, Susanna Frame, French Roast Coffee to start the day.
Like you need that.
Oh, my God. Second cup. I'm ready to roll. But, yeah, I've got this on, Paul. And I get it. Knicks fans are going crazy. Everybody's talking about the greatest game of all time. This one. As a basketball coach of over 25 years, oh my goodness, I wish I was in San Antonio today. What a meltdown, Paul. What a meltdown. You're up 29 points at one point in this game. Up 29 points. They shot 8 straight three-pointers. There was a sequence. They shoot a three, get the rebound, get it right back, shoot a three, get the rebound, shoot it right back up. Wasted no time on the clock. I mean, I'm sorry, at that point, you got to take a timeout and say, listen, we are up 25 now. Let's slow it down. Let's work the ball around. Let's get Wemby in the paint. And but in the end, great moment. I know we're going to break it down more in the game. We're going to break down Swifty Cam. We're going to talk about Taylor Swift. But we got some other stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
Paul,
we got a lot to get to. Let's take a look at what's on tap for today's show. The Mariners lose in Baltimore. Also lose another key player to injury. The Seahawks wrap up minicamp today. And the fun begins as they receive their Super Bowl rings later on today. And the fun really begins on this show when comedian and actor Adam Ray out of Shorecrest High School, Seattle's own Adam Ray joining us. And Adam will also help us with our top 5, our Ultimate 5, which today ranks the top 5 actors, actresses, not only from Seattle, but from the state of Washington. Listen to the Chris and the gang this morning for the last couple hours. I think those guys would like to skip right ahead to the Ultimate 5.
I'm going to tease real quickly, Paul. Joel, I've seen Joel's top 5, and we're still half an hour. We're over 40 minutes away from this. But he is missing the number 1 actor. And I want to get going, but we got to wait. We got to talk Mariners and Seahawks.
I know, man. It's really, you today, I don't think I've ever seen you as charged up as you are today, for sure. And you don't need that, my man.
Thank you, Susanna.
All right, let's start with the Mariners. They lose in Baltimore 7-2. Brandon Young on the hill for the Orioles. Held the M's to just 2 hits in his 7 innings. That guy is been electric when he's on the mound. The Orioles have won 7 straight when he starts. So the signs were not good going into that one last night, Chris.
No, they had 2 dramatic wins, and you just kind of had a feeling the Birds were going to find their way. Baltimore in games 1 and 2 of this series couldn't do anything with runners in scoring position. They get 7 runs on the board, but I got to be honest with you, Paul, I'm not upset at this game. It's not bringing me down. There is some concern with the bullpen after watching this game, but I'm actually feeling pretty good, thanks to George Kirby. George Kirby does take the loss, Paul, but he gets a quality start. I think he was 104 pitches in this game, so that's a positive for me. 104 pitches, only gives up 3 earned runs in this game. It seems like George Kirby's the new Felix Hernandez. Whatever he pitches, the Mariners can score runs. I look at the Mariners on that stat sheet with only 4 hits in this game. Not totally concerned with that when you look at the lineup and you got Miles Mastroboni in there, Patrick Wisdom, Cole Young. You are missing a lot of key pieces right now. Guys are headed in the right direction. We talked about it on this show yesterday. Cal Raleigh will rejoin the team soon. Brendan Donovan will rejoin the team soon. Colt Emerson, let's be hopeful that he rejoined. I mean, he's with the team, Paul, but he needs to get back in the lineup as well.
Yeah, talk about Colt Emerson's get a little problem with his back, but they say it's very minor, and they're kind of being real careful with him. But Matt Brash goes the 15-day IL with strains in his right side and things like that. It's like it's this oblique and the right side injuries and things like that. The lat strain is what put him on the IL. So, and that's important for a pitcher, for any ball player for sure. But, that's the second time he's been on this season. And that's a little bit disheartening. So you got to wonder about where Brash is headed for the rest of the season.
No, that one concerns me big time. When you talk about this team, when they struggled a little bit, it was when Brash and Gabe Spire were both out. I mean, these are such key arms coming out of that bullpen. It's going to be interesting, Paul, as this team moves forward. They're using the six-man rotation during this road trip where they're playing 10 straight games. Will they go back to the piggyback approach? It has been working. I think they are going to need another quality arm in that bullpen. So if it's Luis Castillo coming out of the pen, the Mariners are going to need it, Paul. So it's going to be interesting to see what Dan Wilson, what Justin Hollander, and the group over there with the Mariners does when they wrap up this 10-game road trip, if they go back to a five-man rotation. I know we got Bill Kruger on the show tomorrow. I know he's probably excited to break this down as well. But not good that Matt Brash is no longer in that bullpen.
That's right. George Kirby did take the loss last night. He's now 5-6 on the season. He gives up 3 runs in 6 innings, but he strikes out 10 in this game, which is impressive. Dan Wilson liked what he saw.
A pretty good outing for him. Obviously a quality start. I thought the first 5 innings, getting out of that 5th inning jam there was a tough one, and I thought the work that he and Garv did tonight was pretty good, and they were able to get to him there a little bit in the 6th, but just a couple of pitches that they were able to to drive, but for the most part, I thought George threw the ball well tonight.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about this Mariners team on the road, missing some key pieces, now 3-3 on this road trip, there's a lot of positives to take from it. Obviously, that was a tough one right there, but you win today, you win the series, and all is good.
Yeah, Mariners and Orioles wrap up their series tonight before the M's head to D.C. for 3 with the Nationals, and that would wrap up this 10-game road trip. The Seahawks wrap up their mini camp today. They'll open training camp July 25th. That is a Saturday. The fans are ready to jump all over that. They got a great spot out there to watch training camp up there on the berm. Seahawks had a shorter practice yesterday before doing some work in the community. Head coach Mike Macdonald said Torrey Horton, who is now practicing this week, is expected to return to the practice field during training camp. Macdonald said it's all positive when it comes to Horton as he works his way back from that shin injury. So we'll see. Injuries have haunted this young guy at the end of his college career and into his rookie season with the Seahawks.
And I know a lot of Seahawks fans and the coaches want to see what they can get from this guy. I mean, we've heard about his speed, how he can go downfield. So that's going to be interesting. Hopefully, like Coach Macdonald said yesterday, looks good that he'll be back for camp, which begins July 25th. So the Seahawks have one more practice today, Paul, and then they get their summer break. Macdonald did have a lot of praise to pass out yesterday for receiver and special team star Rashid Shaheed. This is Shaheed's first full offseason as a Seahawk, and Macdonald loves how he has attacked it.
It's been great. It's been great. Rashid, look, he deserves a lot of credit. He's been here the whole time. He's had a great attitude. He's had a lot of personal records in our offseason training program. The timing of our plays looked like it should, given the amount of reps that are invested into it. And I know I'm as excited as heck to see where it goes.
When you read Mike Macdonald, he doesn't get excited as heck about anything. You sit there and you look at him. I think everyone is excited to see Jackson Smith and Jigba this season. He's the core of this Seahawks receiving core that is currently ranked by many as the 7th best receiving core in the NFL. And if you go a little higher on that list, they got the Cowboys at number 2, and they got the Minnesota Vikings, which I thought was a bit of a surprise, at number 1 as far as receiving core goes. So,
and I love this receiving core because it just has so many parts. I mean, you have JSN, the proven offensive player of the year. You've got the veteran in Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed, in his speed. Already talked about Horton. If he gets healthy, what he can do. You throw in Jake Bobo. He was key last year in several special teams, but he's another big target, Paul, to have him on the field. JSN, by the way, though, last year led the NFL, set the franchise record for receiving yards in a season, was named the offensive player of the year. But, Paul, he was also the defensive player of the year. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, I don't know this. I didn't see this story.
You weren't out of town. Yeah, he was also the defensive player of the year for a bit. NFL made a mistake with his trophy. He now has his new trophy, and all is good for JSN.
I did. They just sent it. They just sent it to me a couple days ago, so appreciate them. Yeah.
Does it look right this time?
Yeah, we checked it. Everybody cleared it. I had, the whole team read it, make sure it was right, and it's good, solid.
No, Paul, it's solid. It's ready to roll.
Yeah, they had to check it again. I mean, why not? It's like anything else. You want to make sure they at least get it right the second time.
You see that eye roll there?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, NFL.
Yeah,
but you know what? Everybody loves this guy right now. It's not just Seattle, Paul.
Yeah, well, we talked to Warren Moon yesterday about the quality of routes that JSN runs and the reliability of having a receiver like that on your squad. And he had a tremendous season last year, as we've talked about. He continues to gain popularity. According to the NFLPA's official year-end sales list, JSN finished number 4 in jersey sales. Only Josh Allen, Drake May, and Saquon Barkley sold more jerseys. JSN's jersey is the highest-selling receiver jersey in the NFL and the highest-selling Seahawks jersey since Russell Wilson's peak years. So that tells you a little something about the popularity of this kid. Man, oh man, fans love him.
Fans love him. Let's get it. Offense may sell the jerseys, Paul, but defense wins championships.
Well, Chris, I've never heard that, Coach.
And we're going to talk about this Seahawks team. We got to talk about the defense. Defense has so many big stars. Yesterday on this show, we heard from Nick Eamon-Wari, Ernest Jones, and when it comes to leaders on this defense, you have to talk about Julian Love. He is willing to do whatever it takes to win and whatever is best for the team.
Yeah, that's Julian. He's the mayor, man. Just one of our leaders on our team. You know, I think that exemplifies the mentality we look for all our guys, really. But it's never really a question with Julian. You assume that he's going to feel that way. That's a testament to just who he is every day. I would say we're never trying to take away from his ability to make plays or get him away from the action. I know personally we're always thinking about how do we get him closer to the action. You know, sometimes because he is so talented and so versatile, sometimes you do have to put him in other situations to, round out the 11 and make sure we're, the best 11 out there. But the fact that that's not an issue just makes us a lot better team. So testament to him.
All right, Coach Mike Macdonald holding court with the media after practice yesterday. Once again, they had a pretty full practice a couple days ago. Yesterday, guys were kind of having fun, shooting hoops, doing some shadow boxing. They did walkthroughs, Paul, for about an hour. Then they went out into the community and went to Seattle Children's, Ronald McDonald House, and they're going to have one more practice today, another shorter practice, and then tonight, the big ring ceremony they're going to have. So that's going to be fun for the team. And then it's summer break time. It's go out there, be smart. We'll see you back on July 25th. You mentioned is the first practice, but they'll be back at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center probably July 23rd, 24th. So getting back.
Yeah.
But this is key for these guys. Coaches get worried when they leave for a month because it's off to Cabo, Cancun, Hawaii. But be smart out there.
That's what Pete Carroll used to say too, man. When he sends these guys off, you want to pat them on the head and say, just be smart. Stay out of trouble. The Seahawks get their Super Bowl rings today. Mike Macdonald talks about that, and we caught up with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, his take on the team and a trip down memory lane coming up.
Version of some rings. So I'm happy I do not know what the final one looks like, but I'm really excited. And I know everyone involved in the process, starting with Jody, Chuck kind of headed up the whole thing. There's a lot of people involved throughout the building. Just really impressed with how the process went down. And I know outside of this, I'm really confident it's our guys going to be really proud of it. It's going to be really awesome.
Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald talking about the Super Bowl rings. The players, coaches, Seahawks support staff will all get those rings tonight. Special offsite ceremony. Very cool night. I'm sure pics of the rings will start coming up on social media tonight. Everybody's going to be showing them off. I love these nights, not only, Paul, for the players and for the coaches, but also for, the guys we work with, the Dave Pearsons out there, Jeff Garza's, Rich Gonzalez, OC, Chris, Julie Barber, because they get rings too. I'm talking about the PR staff there, and there's many others out there, but it's kind of fun. They get a chance to kind of celebrate just like the players and the coaches do.
Yep. Well, now it's all about running it forward. We had a chance to talk to the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, this week out of minicamp. He likes the mentality of this team coming off its Super Bowl championship.
It's fun to see how these guys together last season won a Super Bowl, set that aside, come back. What did we do to get there to that point? To end up down in Santa Clara, and what do we have to do to get there again? And it's really great watching that mindset.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Mike Macdonald with his new phrase, run it forward, and the players immediately buy in on that. But it is a mindset, isn't it? Because we know physically they have the talent on this team, but it's where you are to start the season with your mind.
Yeah, and it's from year to year, and it's amazing the difference a year makes, especially for the young guys. From my rookie season, now my second season was not as good as it could have been. I ran around with a guy named Ed Marinero, so we did more partying than we did playing, I think, that second year. But the third year, I mean, you really start to understand what you're trying to do offensively, how you're getting your work done as a team, what practice is really all about. You're not out there just to hang out with the guys. You're out there to get something accomplished every drill, and it takes a little while sometimes for some of the young guys to learn that. The difference now, I think, is from even 15 years ago, 10 years ago, is that the guys coming up through the college ranks are prepared for this kind of practice, of this kind of understanding of offense and defense, of classroom work, of what goes into being a great football player, because they're already doing that in college. Again, it's something different than the old days. So it's great to see. I can't wait to see the young guys who are in their second or third year, how much further they step out and really improve.
Staying with the college guys, Jadarian Price, their first-round draft pick, that running back, you see him out here, and it's like he's built like he's been in the league several years. He looks like he's going to be a good one.
He really does. He's strong. He's built low to the ground. He can bounce off of people. He's very shifty. He was a great return man as well as a running back, and he was also a backup at Notre Dame. I mean, he played a lot, but he was still a backup, which means there wasn't the wear and tear on him that you got maybe on some guys who were the lead horse on a team and ran the balls a lot for 3 straight seasons in college. So this guy's got, I think, a lot to come here with. His 40 time wasn't spectacular, but you don't win football games based on a 40 time. You win it on how well you avoid guys at the line of scrimmage, how well you bounce off of people if you're a running back, and bounce it outside and run to the goal line. I think he's going to be just fine. I think it was a great choice by John and the gang as the number 1 pick.
What was your take on the Myles Garrett move?
It's a great move, and it's a great move for him. Puts him on the West Coast. He wants to be out there. Not that people don't want to be in Cleveland, but I could probably count on one hand the number of people that want to be in Cleveland, especially right now. They've got so many issues there. But the
You're
Rams,
talking about the organization, not
yes,
the city.
No. Yeah, sometimes the city too, but the organization specifically. But yeah, he is going to be a great fit there. But they gave up a lot to get him. And he's 30 some years old. So it's not like he's going to play forever. They're in for this year. This is what the Rams are looking at, is saying we're going to be all in this season, and we're going to try to take the division. We're going to have everything hopefully come through Los Angeles. That's what they're hoping, just as we did last year when everything came through Lumen Field. Now Seattle Stadium. So how about that? They're going to be tougher. You've got Matthew Stafford back. You've got all the weapons that they have back. Puka is probably a year older and a little more mature. I don't know how he could get much better, because he was a terrific wide receiver. Their offensive line, fairly stable. Their defense is tough. They retooled their secondary. So they're really going to be tough, and it's going to be, I think, us and the Rams, and don't count the 49ers out. They're always tough. They got a quarterback, they got a tight end, and they're kind of redoing a little bit of their defense as well, but they still have some question marks.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about this team. You see the way the mini camps are run these days, the training camps are run. There are no 2-a-days. Things have changed so much in this game, and I love what you talk about the old school days. So, like, back in the days, you were doing 2-a-days, right? Were there times where you practiced in pads twice a day or something?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, sure.
Can you give us a taste of what that was like?
I have tried to put it out of my mind. I had shock therapy for about a decade to not remember all those things. Well, first of all, we'd always, I lived here after my rookie season, so a lot of us who lived here, and a lot of us did actually, we didn't go back someplace, we all lived in the area. So we'd start showing up at the facility over, which is now Carillon Point, which was then our practice facility. We'd start showing up there in March. And, you want to get out there, you want to kind of get loose, run, do all those things. We'd lift, we'd come out on the field, and we'd work out on our own, throw with Jim, throw with Steve, Sam McCullum, we were all here. And we'd just do that. and we kind of increased that until we got to training camp. There was no official, until my last year, until 1981, we didn't even have an official strength and conditioning coach. So we got one of those guys, and then he beat the daylights out of us as we were getting ready for the 81 season. And that was kind of the next step for the Seahawks to kind of get to where other teams were. But you sort of did it on your own. And Jack's philosophy, Jack Patero, was this is a business, guys. This is a game that's played by men, and you have to understand what you're doing. If you come in and you're not in shape, well, then you'll be gone in a really big hurry. So we all made sure that we were in shape, but there were no mini camps, there were no OTAs. There really wasn't any official classroom activity. We'd just come in some days, and if it was rainy out, we didn't have an indoor facility, so we'd all go sit inside, and we'd call Jerry Rome, our offensive coordinator, hey, give us a couple of cans of film so we can look back and look and see what we did, look at the cut-ups, how we did on offense or whatever. And a lot of it was on our shoulders. And I don't know, I think probably because it is really a very big business and you're wanting to keep these guys healthy and in touch and understanding of what you're trying to do, it's so much more extensive now, but I think it's better. I think this is a better way of doing things, and and it shows on the field. When you take a team like we had, young team last year that a lot of people didn't figure to be in the top 15 teams in the league, and they jump up and Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, well, we're looking forward to another great season with these guys, and we know they're in good hands with Mike Macdonald and John Schneider. The organization itself is just tremendous from head to toe. Yeah,
it really is. Mike, I got to spend some time with him. We did a big charity function for Habitat for Humanity a few weeks ago, and he was great. I emceed the event, but then he and I did a little sit down. They had a couple of chairs there, and we sat and talked to. Gosh, it was a crowd of close to 1,000 people. It was really wonderful, and he is so good, and his ability to explain his philosophy, starting with that, playing it forward now as opposed to looking back on the Super Bowl, but just about what his process is and how important it is. And how important it is, Pete always used to talk about letting the individual come out in all the players. They do it in a little bit different way, but Mike has his own way of doing that, letting the individuals come out. Mike, though, can be a little more old school in that he is a little more focused on, okay, this has got to get done. It's got to get done right now. If you don't do it right, you're going to hear about it right now. We're not going to wait a day or two or a week. This is important in his philosophy on how to coach guys up and get them ready, and also coaches. I remember Mike Holmgren when he was here. Mike could get on guys a little bit, but he really coached his coaches and coached them hard. And in those meetings, some of those guys would come out of there and, whew, boy, that was a rough meeting. And then they'd get out on the field and then they, go to the players, okay, here's what we talked about, and, in a much more calm fashion. But that was Mike. Every coach has his way of doing things. And I think Mike Macdonald is I really think he's one of a kind. I know there are guys now that are kind of talking in the same language, but he's just an amazing guy. I mean, and for his age as a coach, I got loafers older than him, and here he is coaching the Super Bowl champs in his second year, and now going into his third season. He knows what it takes to build a football team, and with John Schneider and he together, they've put together a franchise that I think has a chance to really win over the long haul, and that's the secret to a great organization is, can you win not once, but can you at least get to that point, be there for the playoffs and beyond every season.
That is definitely the goal and the mindset of this Seahawks organization, Chris. We've seen it in the short time that Mike Macdonald has been here, just 2 years at the helm. Super Bowl championship, and the expectations are high every year. Window's wide open for this team.
Window is wide open. Great to hear from Steve Rabel. I know we had the Hall of Famer Warren Moon on the show yesterday, so great to get these Seahawks legends on the show. Paul, I was out there for both the practices, and I think my biggest takeaway from this mandatory minicamp, the biggest takeaway is the fact that all these veterans are there. They're all there. They want all in. I get it. It's a mandatory mini camp, but we've seen it, Paul. How many years have we seen it? Who's missing from this camp? Who's not here? Who decides not to practice? They're all out there. We saw Devin Witherspoon going all out. And I think the second biggest takeaway, if you're a Seahawks fan, is running back Zach Charbonnet. The fact that he was out there, he is rehabbing, he's coming back from a torn ACL. I mean, this is nothing but good news for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, and it's a different world of medicine. We're seeing that with Tarek Skubal. I mean, a lot of people said, no way is this guy going to be out there pitching. And he's out there. He's going to be pitching again already. So Zach Charbonnet ahead of schedule. Coach McDonald was even asked about that schedule. He says, when it comes to his schedule, I don't even know what it is. I just know it's a good sign what we're seeing right now from Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, considering that Charbonnet tore his ACL in that playoff game against the 49ers, and the fact that he's out there running around doing some light work on the side, it was a welcome sight this week for sure. But I think that running back room is in good shape with Price. And, you look at the buy-in from this team and the fact that the culture that Mike McDonald and John Schneider have built out there, the fact that they had such a short offseason, they gave DeMarcus Lawrence and some of these old-time vets or long-time vets an extra week, don't have to come to OTAs. They appreciated the fact that coach was thinking about their well-being. Of course, D-Law, he and his wife had a baby shortly after the Super Bowl, so now he has 6 kids. I think he has 2 under 1-year-old, so that's a house full. So, and the coach understands that. Mike McDonald has his first child. He knows what it's like running around with the little ones, so it was cool to see him give that respect to the vets. They really appreciated. That's all part of the fact that these guys are all buying in to the culture and what Mike McDonald expects from them, and they're more than willing to give it back to their coach.
Yeah, tonight they're all going to be bought in with a big old ring on their finger that says Super Bowl champion. So I think that may inspire them to have a nice offseason and get ready to work come July 25th.
I'm glad you brought up the Super Bowl rings because it seems like the champs from every year, they try to outdo the prior champs. And I got to tell you this, I did a little looked this up to see just how much these rings cost. And the Rams are on record for having the most expensive ring per player. Roughly $1 million went into each Super Bowl ring that the Rams got winning Super Bowl 56 over the Bengals. So the Rams own that top spot, Chris, of the most expensive Super Bowl ring ever produced. I wonder what the Seahawks are going to do.
And it is not official yet. I'm just going to throw it out there because I heard a couple people talking about it yesterday that the Seahawks may put out there some replica rings that the fans could buy for a very high price with the money going to a good cause. When that becomes official, we'll let you know. But stay tuned for that information. And stay tuned, Paul. I got my science gear. I'm ready to roll today. Yeah.
Up next, comedian and actor, Seattle's own Adam Ray joined us on the show. He has a new Netflix special coming out. We'll talk about that and his love for Seattle sports teams on the way.
That is me at 10 years old in Seattle, Washington, meeting Seattle Supersonics shooting guard Kendall Gill. My mom, God bless her, single mom, bought some Sonics tickets. She's like, let's go early and get a picture. And I was like, cool, do you mind if I let him ask me to junior prom?
Welcome back to the Ultimate Seattle Sports Show. Yesterday we had Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon on the show. Today, a lot of entertainment with comedian and actor, Seattle's own Adam Ray joined us. And Adam, thanks a lot for making the time today and joining us on the show.
Dude, come on. I literally I told your producer, I said, can you stop emailing my personal email? And then he showed up at the front door last night and said, dude, Chris Egan really, I forget how he sounded. It was late. I was having the melatonin kicked in, but he was like, Chris Egan really wants you on the show. I was like, you put on some pants and we'll talk. 10:30 works great. And no, dude, you guys are Seattle legends, and it's a true honor to be here. And I'm glad you guys are stepping into this avenue of the media. Like, why should the Kelsey brothers be the only good-looking white dudes with podcasts?
Well, you listen, man, you got a big show premiering on Netflix June 19th. We want to get into that in just a few, but you are also a huge sports fan, as everybody pretty much figured out by now. You grew up in the Pacific Northwest. You went to Shorecrest High School. You're always repping the Sonics, and you're a big fan of the NBA. So first of all, what did you think of that game last night? Knicks coming back from 29 down to beat the Spurs.
Well, first of all, I didn't. I was surprised at how much I was into the game, because when the Soups left, and I try to block the year out, but I want to say it was like 07, 08 was the last year maybe, and my basketball has been my favorite sport forever. Now I think Mariners baseball has always been a first love. Hawks football I think became more of a passion once the Soups left, but I didn't watch the NBA for the first probably 2 years after the Sonics bounced to OKC, because, it was the most devastating thing ever. I was like, if somebody was like, would you rather your folks get back together or the Sonics come back? I was like, that's the easiest question of all time. I want to retire the Big Smooth. And then when you see them, they were so good so quick. And my buddy was like, what is it like to have your team leave? I go, to have them leave and then become so good so quick. It's like if your girl leaves you and then she just, bangs every dude on national TV and you have to watch it you know what I'm saying? There's probably a better analogy, and you guys are like, we're going to cut this out. But my point is, when I watched last night, I actually got a little bit of that juice back for the game, because basketball at its highest level is the most fun, and you're getting to see that in these finals games. And I mean, I think they said it was the best comeback in finals history. And yeah, it was wild, dude. Watching, Jalen Brunson, people that are truly at the top of their game, is the most fun. And all it does is make me think back to, old Sonics games. I mean, I'm sure I'm like many Seattle sports fans that when I'm on the bike or on a long, plane trip, I'll pull up old Sonics games just to listen to Calabro, and just get a little bit of that magic back. Now, look, are we coming back? I'll believe it when I see it. I think the heartstrings have been tugged at too many times. But, I think I don't see how it doesn't happen. But I just hope it doesn't happen by way of us taking New Orleans or even Portland. I heard just open it up, do another, I got to play in the NBA Celebrity All-Star game in 2019, and I became buds with Adam Silver, and probably because we have the same body and the same name and, and the same haircut. And he was like, I'm working on it. And I was like, could you work a little bit harder? Because it's been 20 plus years. We actually got to play in that Celeb All-Star game, my buddy Brad Williams and I'll let you guys talk in a minute. When my buddy Brad and I, Brad's a dwarf. He's a little person. He actually could be under your table, so check before you leave. But he's a great comedian. Check him out on YouTube. And Brad and I were at Summer League with Adam Silver. He invited us to come hang, and we're hanging out in the little owner's box. And he goes, Brad goes up to him and goes, hey, make me one promise. Don't let Peter Dinklage play in the NBA Celebrity All-Star game before me. And Adam Silver goes, F that guy. And then he goes, you're in. And then we kind of paused and we were like, are we? And then he walked away and his guy was like, I guess you guys will be getting an email. And then we played in the game. And it was unbelievable. Anyway, how are you guys?
And I love, buddy, how you rep the Sonics everywhere you go. It's not just when you're back home in the P&W. You always have your Sonics gear on. I love that. I love the fact in 2026 you called it your favorite event of the year. Behind the plate, Fifth Avenue Theater. The place was packed. The event featured Cal Raleigh. You had Julio Rodriguez out there with you. Seahawks GM John Schneider was on hand. For you, somebody that's grown up here, how special was that night?
Oh, dude. I mean, it was awesome. There's no way to sugarcoat how cool it is to be buds with athletes, because they're up on such a pedestal. But guess what? They're just normal people. You know what I'm saying? Cal Raleigh, I think he wipes, so if he does, he does it just like we do, front to back or back to front. They're all just people, but, they do this incredible thing that we can't imagine doing or tried to do, and then realize we don't have the, the skill set for it. But it was awesome. We raised a ton of money for the Alexander Hamilton organization, which is a great nonprofit in Seattle. Been around 20 plus years. It gives high achieving underprivileged kids, scholarship money and college help, and just really a community to stick with for their journey. And it was awesome, man. Julio and Cal, I've got to know real well, and Sammy Darnold and Coach McDonald and Schneider, and they're all just down to clown. That's the coolest part. Being fans of them is one thing, but I've known Sam since he got drafted, and so, literally, when he landed in Seattle, I showed him and his sweet wife, Katie, around the area. And And it was so cool when there was rumors of him not staying in Minnesota. I was like, bro, I think you're coming here, man. And then it happened. So it's like, to have your buddy be your quarterback of your team is very cool. But I just rep Seattle so hard. It's where I found comedy. It's where I found my love for the arts. It's where my mom showed me how to put a rubber on a banana. So all the highlights in life,
Listen, man. That said, and all this great stuff about the Seahawks and the championship and the Super Bowl run, they know you enjoyed all that. But let's talk about you for a minute. This Netflix special coming up, is this something you've dreamed of growing up in the Pacific Northwest to get to this level?
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago, I stopped kind of having. Goals are great, but the entertainment business is so flimsy. There's so much uncertainty, and you just kind of got to control what you can control, right? So, for me, why I got into this is the fun factor and making people laugh. I was a bigger kid growing up. My mom and I shared a bra, I used to like to say, and I started to make people laugh, and I was looked at as the funny kid instead of the fat kid, and that. I kind of just kept chasing that because oh, cool, this makes me feel good and it's coming kind of easily and it's making others feel good. And the older I've gotten, the messages I get daily from people. There's this kid that I've been staying in touch with for a while that's had cancer for like the last 5 years, and now he's on hospice. And his buddy just called me today and is like, "Do you mind, talking to him today?" Just he's my huge fan, and I've gotten him into all these shows around the country the last few years, and comedy is just such a medicine, and I really, I take what I do seriously enough, obviously, but the power of it is really becoming more at the forefront these days, and so I guess it's added more fuel to the fire that I've had this whole time, and just trying to grind out any sort of a career. But when I hit this stagnant moment when the actor strike hit, and then COVID, it was like, man, I got to get back to what I loved about this, which was creating from the ground up. And that's when I started doing the Dr. Phil live show, because I always want to do a live character show. And then who knew that was going to take off? I was maybe going to do Montel Williams, but I don't have the hair, and joke, we'll edit some laughter. But so just trying to do things that felt fun to me, because there's so many things out of your control in this business, and waiting around to be put in other people's crap was, I'm still doing, I'm still auditioning all the time, but doing things, the way you want to do them and hoping people catch on is kind of the formula that I've followed. And getting a Netflix show is awesome because it's getting to flex my character work and my, hundreds of hours of podcasting. And so it's a chat show with me playing myself for different characters. There's 30 episodes. We did like Dr. Phil with Dave Matthews at the Space Needle. We did myself and Joel McHale, myself and Nikki Glazer, myself and my mom at my high school theater in Shorecrest. We did myself with a stoner blogger character with the Impractical Jokers. I'm going to do The Rock coming up, Dave Chappelle. And so every episode is a different character and location and guest. And it's really fun, man. And it's going to be on Netflix June 19th. And I hope you guys tune in. And maybe, down the line, Coach McDonald and John Schneider did an episode too with this coach character that I created called Ron Donnelly. He's a 300-pound. I got in like a Professor Clump fat suit. It took about 5 hours. And it's actually one of the best episodes. John and Mike are so silly. Like John has, gotten over well. Coach McDonald, did a thing with me for the McAfee show and for a first pitch at the Mariners when I pretended to like pull my shoulder, and then he came out and out of the bullpen. But that episode is special. We also did a live Dr. Phil with Marshawn Lynch and Sam Darnold that'll also be a part of the Netflix show. And yeah, man, it's awesome that.
Well, hey, here's the video. Here's the video of you and Coach. I thought I knew how good you were. I mean, you've got millions of followers on social media, Netflix show. You're going to be performing at the Washington State Fair. You're on tour, but you got that man right. Look at Coach McDonald doesn't laugh a lot, and you have him laughing a lot. That's got to be fun there. You're hanging out with Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, hanging out, throwing out that first pitch. That was a fun day as well.
Dude, it's awesome, man. I mean, there's my mom always said kindness is free, and like, it's pretty, whatever, dude. Sure, there's like an extra superpower with I guess, making people laugh, but like, just don't be a piece of crap and, treat people like people, and like, everyone I don't know, man. I don't know. Life rules. But I'm just glad that Seattle's getting their due cred with the bowl, and the M's finally getting some attention, and obviously, like, things are going according to plan because people have been messaging me throughout the entirety of my career. When are Sylvie and Egan going to join forces? These guys have a similar, their clothes fit their body. They both brush, like they look like brothers. You guys do have, like, there is a brother quality. Do you guys get that? Like, when you both smile, like, your eyes do the same. Like, Chris has more of a surprised, like, Chris, when you smile, you almost look like one of those clowns that you shoot water into at the Washington State Fair. But Paul, you've got this classic. Paul, you look like a guy my mom dated. His name was Howard, I think in the early 90s. And this is right before my mom and my stepdad, George, shout out. And she did this guy named Howard. And he brought me over like a saxophone because he was like, I heard you played the saxophone. And I was like, yeah, not really. I play the clarinet. And he gave me a saxophone, and the reed was still wet. And the case was like smelled like beef jerky and farts. And so he was like, hey, congrats on your new instrument. Maybe it'll be the next Kenny G. And I was like, can you just stop touching my mom? So anyway.
Man, I thought that was going to go somewhere nice, and it went down the crapper so fast. Thank you for that, Adam.
Hey, let me finish. Howard was a good-looking dude, man. I remember even in the 5th grade being like, Mom, all right, like, you're doing, like, this is a.
Paul's got guns, Adam. Paul's got guns, man.
Right. Let's leave it at the good-looking dude spot. That's good. All right, Adam, hang tight. When we return, we're going to have producer Joel join us for the Ultimate 5 segment. We're looking for the top 5 actors and actresses from the state of Washington. We want Adam to weigh in next. Comedian Adam Ray will soon star in a big Netflix show. He could move up the list as one of the top actors from our state. Yeah. But in today's top 5, we want producer Joel to give us his top 5 actors or actresses from the state of Washington. And let's bring him out here now. The producer Joel. We got to get right to it, Joel. So
there he is, Adam.
Let's start with number 5.
Joel, wait a second, Joel. Didn't I buy drugs from you in Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, and I knocked at your door yesterday, too, to get on the show.
I don't know what you just said, man, but yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Go to 5.
Number 5.
I know this is going to take a while.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in the show Supernatural. He was in The Walking Dead as Negan. He was in Grey's Anatomy. He grew up, I believe, in Kirkland and graduated from Lake Washington High School.
Solid.
That's solid. Go to number 4.
Number 4. We have Bruce Lee.
Oh.
Not too many people know. He grew up in his teens. He moved to Seattle. He had his first dojo in the basement of a grocery store on First Hill. He was in many big movies, Enter the Dragon, Game of Death, Fist of Fury. Bruce Lee is a legend.
Now, I will say, as a former white belt in Taekwondo, which is the belt they give you when you sign up, I love Bruce Lee, but like you just mentioned, Joel, he moved to Seattle. We're looking for homegrown.
Good.
To make this list, I'm sorry, but there's got to be some sort of a criteria. Yep. Does he know? Did he steal Diet Dr. Pepper from the Lake Forest Park Albertsons that he worked at, like I did? No. So this is going to have to be considered.
Yeah. All right. Good point.
I like it. Number 3.
Number 3, Jean Smart. She won 13 awards. She won 7 for 14 Emmys, 3 for 4 in the Golden Globes. Was on Hacks, Frasier, Fargo, and Watchmen, Designing Women. Just a vastly underrated actress.
Okay, no, I didn't watch any of those.
All right,
shows.
listen, I want to get through this because I know that Chris is chomping at the bit to say something. I'm sure Adam's got his own choices, but let's get to number 2.
I forgot to say Jean Smart graduated from Ballard High School, so she's a little.
Yes, she did. I didn't ever go to Hacks. She's a sweetheart.
Number 2, Joel McHale from Mercer Island. A little bit of a homer pick because he was on Almost Live back in the day on King 5. He was also a UW walk-on. You remember him also from The Soup, Community, The Bear. He's also been the voice of Mortal Kombat and Fortnite, too.
Any thoughts on McHale, Adam?
I mean, look at that picture. First of all, is that AI or is that his real smile? That is like, dear God, like that. Show that picture. This is Joel right when he was told that he could drink the blood of a baby calf. Like this, like, I mean, look at that guy. That sweater. Look, Joel is. All joking aside, one of the nicest people I've ever met, but I think he would probably agree that he should not have gone to the Nordstrom rack to dress himself for that. But Joel is in a top 3 list of anybody in Seattle anytime, anywhere. So I'm okay with that pick.
All right.
Number 1, we're going to go with Chris Pratt.
Oh, yeah.
The Lake Stephen High School's grad. He is number 5 in grossing movies of all time. $14.1 billion. He was Star-Lord in the Guardians of the Galaxy. He was the voice of Mario, Garfield, in the Jurassic Park sequels. Also in Parks and Rec.
Joel, I got no problem with Pratt being on the list. And Adam and Paul, I'm going to get my 3 that I think he's missing. From Shorecrest High, I don't see Rainn Wilson in your top 5. I think he needs to be there. From Edgewood, Washington, Yaphet Kotto. We saw him in Alien. We saw him in James Bond's movie. But number 1, if we could roll my video, number 1 from Walla Walla, Washington. How could we leave out Adam West, Paul? How could we leave out Batman? Pow! Pow! Bang! Boom! Pow!
Mayor West from Family Guy. How can we leave him off the list?
That's right.
Yeah. Dude, that is. Here's what I'll say about Pratt. Again, dude, when you show up only for the big games, I used to in 6th and 7th grade, Jonathan Stevens, Adam French, and I would take the bus from Lake Forest Park Albertsons that I worked at in high school. Shout out to George Cottle, my manager who hired me, and I think I had a crush on my mom. We would take the bus all the way down from LFP to the Kingdome, and we would make posters, and we'd sit in the 300 level, and we had a sign one time. The first time we got on the Jumbotron, for Rob Ducey, we put a sign that said "Getting Ducey with it" because they played "Getting Jiggy with it," and we got on Jumbotron, and we've lost our effing minds. I've been to games when there have been 4 people in the crowd, when Russ Davis was pointing to moms in the crowd and going like, hey, I'm gonna say the key in room 419, Frank Perkle, dude. I remember I've been to so many games. I've seen so many, dude. That picture of Kendall Gill, try to take me to the prom. I mean, I've been around for the good days and the bad. That's why the fandom I think is a little more appreciated from my peers because I haven't just jumped on the bandwagon. Not to say that's what Pratt's doing, but hey, man, where were you in the dark days when we had again? I don't know, man. Rick Meyer. I don't know. I'm thinking names off the top of my head, but there's a time and a place to show who you are, and Pratt's just only been at the NFC Championship games and the Super Bowls, and when it matters. But that being said, he's born and raised a Washington boy, so I think he deserves to be number 1, and he's bringing attention to the Emerald City, and that's all. Hey,
you're our number 1, Adam. Thank you, buddy.
Adam, we could do a whole hour with you, man. We really could, and I wish we had more time, but we really appreciate you jumping on and making some time for us. You got the Netflix special coming up June 19th. Best of luck, and we're looking for a lot more from you, Adam.
I love you guys. I'll send you my OnlyFans. Just put up 2 new toes last night, so it's pretty easy, pretty affordable. Joel actually was my 3rd subscriber, so hopefully I'll see you guys live in studio next time. Go on,
that would be awesome. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
All right. We'll wrap it up with our final drive next. World Cup play gets underway tonight. 6 games in Seattle, by the way, coming up. And there's a barge. Floating Fan Zone will open on Elliott Bay, where soccer fans will be able to experience a game on the water. Part watch party, part playground, part waterfront festival, giant screen, music, food, drinks, purchase. Tickets $42 for kids, $52 for adults. So a good chance for the soccer fans to kind of enjoy some World Cup festivities right there.
Fun stuff there. Fun stuff last night in the Garden. NBA Finals. We talked about at the top of this show. The Knicks come back from a 29-point deficit, Paul, and pull off the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. I'm still venting about how the Spurs let this one get away. Maybe move the ball around a little bit. Don't take so many 3-point shots, but it is what it is. Knicks go up 3-1, and they're getting closer to winning the NBA title.
Yeah, I mean, you see the way this game was going in the first half and the early part of it, and you're just like, oh, man, Spurs are just going to bounce right back, even this series, and it's going to be a best of 3 at that point. But it's not the way it went down, and of course, they have loaded that place with celebrities.
Oh, here we go.
Madison Square Garden, Ben Stiller and the gang.
Well, you're wondering why the ratings were record ratings right there. Taylor Swift fans were also watching the NBA last night because the Taylor cam, we were seeing her all game long. The front 2 rows were just packed with so many celebrities. I love seeing Johnny McEnroe down there, Adam Sandler, but Everybody else was talking about T Swift hanging out.
Man, I just love the fact that we were kind of looking for pictures for her that we can use, that are legal to use, and the AP had like 17 or 20 pictures of her and maybe just a few of the game. I mean, so popular, just off the charts, but wherever Taylor Swift shows up, she's going to be big time thing.
No, I mean, it was, you know what, good for the NBA. You know, like I said, record ratings last night for this game. If somehow the Spurs can take care of business in San Antonio and force a Game 6 back in New York, that will be absolutely crazy. I just don't know how the Spurs recover from this one, but we'll see.
I don't know who the Spurs are going to trot out down there for celebrities, but we know that New York definitely has them. That's it for us. Special thanks to Adam Ray for joining us. He was a riot, and he's got a special Netflix show coming up June 19th, premiering. And as we listen, that guy is loaded with laughs. Check this out, 10 a.m. on Kong weekdays, streaming on the King 5 app, on demand at king5.com. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow.